Everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over a Plaguefall 19 that I did. So for this week, it is Tyrannical week, and I ended up going a full single target build. I haven't tested it out too much. I've done it a couple times, but for Plaguefall it really worked out. So I went Siphon Life, Phantom Singularity, Haunt, Dark Soul Misery, Drain Soul, and I went Focus Malignancy, and I went with Rolling Agony for the extended agony duration. When you're doing Siphon Life, it's really important to have Rolling Agony because you don't have enough globals or enough haste to keep it up otherwise. So that was pretty helpful. Um, yeah, so let's just get into it. So once again, this is full pug. I am friends with the mage, but we weren't in Discord or anything. It was just kind of full YOLO, just as I normally do most of my keys. So here I want to get my cooldowns out as fast as possible, so I pump it all into the Flesh Giant. Actually got locked there because I was being greedy, trying to get one cast off before the Quaking went off. So yeah, it's Raging, Quaking, Tyrannical this week, so it's not too bad for a Tyrannical week. Most Tyrannical affixes are just really difficult to deal with, but decided to try it in this key this week since still haven't had a 19 Plaguefall done in time, just haven't done the key in a while. The thing that's really annoying about this dungeon is your pet dies a lot. There's just so many explosions that yeah, if you're not like micromanaging it constantly, it kind of dies. So maybe using the reduced cooldown on Fell Domination would be pretty helpful here. So not too much here, just kind of pulling through here. For our comp, you know, we have a Booming Mage, Disc Priest, DH. Pretty meta comp, besides Warlock, obviously. But yeah, I just kind of went full single target and let them kind of do all the AoE. I can see on this poll, like, the Boomy's doing 25k, the Mage is doing like 15k, and I'm out here doing like 8. So, you know, AoE isn't Warlock's strong suit, so. So this got kind of sloppy here. This one mob just kept healing because the ads kept getting to him, but ended up being fine. Just CC the little ads. So I use my 1 minute cooldowns here just so we can kill this thing fast. There's already a lot of ads up. So I didn't want him to heal the boss a ton. So you can see only one ad got through there. That way I'll have my Phantom Singularity and my Soul Rot and Trinket up for the boss because I'm going to get Power Infusion when I am on the boss. So you're going to see like I completely destroy the boss with this build. So I Haunt, UA, put all my dots up, drain to 3 stacks, got PI, pop my pot, and all my cooldowns. And I'm just rapturing and see I'm doing like over 20k DPS. The boss is like pretty close to dead already. Always banish the first ad. You know, if you have a hunter, they can trap it. And you can just banish one of the little ads. But I usually just banish the big one just because nothing can break it, right? So it's just the safest thing to have. I re-banished it. Here I'm just trying to finish the boss because it's kind of getting a little scary at the end here. A couple of the little blobs got in and ended up healing the boss, so. So for this route, it was a little bit different than what I've normally done in Plaguefall. I liked it a lot, actually. Like, this tank did a really good job of pulling precisely the exact amount percent and having prides for every boss, which is really, really important on Tyrannical weeks. So here I just Breesoul still in the tank because he got hit by the explosion, so I thought he was going to die. For trash, when you have like 3 mobs or less, it's not too bad keeping up Siphon Life, so long as you use your Seed of Corruption to spread the corruption and not manually cast it all. Um, I mean, it gets harder when it's like 5, 7 targets, etc. But 1 to 3 targets, I found that's actually not too terrible to maintain up Siphon Life. And when you're doing other pulls, say you're doing a big pack pull of like 8 mobs, just like target the biggest one, like the biggest threat. So that'd be like an abomination in this place, or that would be um, the squad leaders and spires, and just really single targeting all like the big threats, the golems and spires, stuff like that. Here I pop my cooldowns. I put Siphon Life on as many targets as I could, and just popped everything I had there. And then for this, the mage is gonna have his combust and power infusion. So this pride melts pretty quick. As you can see in the top left, I'm using Exodus raid tools to track all of my parties like cooldowns, for DPS cooldowns at least, so that way I know pretty much when to use mine. And I think that's really, really important as Warlock, because we do have a 3-minute cooldown, whereas a lot of classes have a lot less time on their cooldowns. And if we are using Corrupting Leer, we could, lower it to 2.5, sometimes 2 minutes. But in general, it's really important to track your teammates' cooldowns and to fill in when no one has any. So if we're going into a prideful or decent pull and no one has cooldowns, and I have mine up, and as long as it's not right before a boss, I will use them. Um, right before the boss is a different case. I will usually hold it and hope our healer can heal through it. Here, our tank actually ended up dying, and you want to save the battle res, so spent a little bit of time here doing that. We're moving pretty quick here. Only have 2 deaths right now. It does get a lot sloppier pretty much at the second boss and moving forward, but it's an interesting run. So for this pack specifically, the congealed slimes are pretty important to kill. So as you can see, I put my UA and I'm like targeting it specifically. Yeah, always kill the purple slimes first. And that's kind of your job in general as a warlock, right? We aren't really brought to keys too much compared to like a hunter or a windwalker or a rogue, boomy mage. But what we do specialize at is killing priority targets. So it's really important, especially for running the Siphon Life build, to have all your dots on whatever the biggest threat is, and to burst that down as hard as you can. And let like your other classes, the mages and boomkins and hunters, just kind of AoE all the little packs. Your overall is not going to be at the highest at the end, compared to them if you're not mass AoEing. But I mean, if you chest the key, it doesn't matter, right? So for here, I used all my shards. I did not want to pop my Phantom Singularity or my Soul Rot because I wanted to have everything going into the boss. So I just kind of hoped our healer could heal through it, which they did, no problem. So here, I pop everything. I got PI, pop my DPS pot, Dark Glare, Dark Soul, everything. Boss is pretty much at 40%, like right away. I always banish the first ad. You can keep it 100% banished. And the second ad, the boss is usually almost dead by then, and you can CC it with a lot of things if it's further away. So you can use a root or like a DH banish or many things that you can use. So we lusted here, and it got kind of dicey at the end because me and the mage were hitting the boss, and I thought we would just kind of finish the boss here since he was at 5%. But I think the boomkin was hitting the bomb, so we ended up actually all dying, except the mage and the tank. Luckily, they were able to kill it, so no wipe. The key is still saved. But that is one thing that would be better if you're in a full Discord group or playing with people you know is stuff like that doesn't happen, right? If everyone's targeting the boss, then the boss just kind of dies. But not the end of the world. We still kept going through. Always gotta get on my toy because I can't stand the male orc model. So yeah, this route, like I said, was a little bit different than what I normally do. Like normally I pull the middle pack here on fortified weeks and skip this slime that the tank just pulled. But yeah, this is the first time that I had ended up pulling through this, so the percentage actually worked out really well. So that was like really nice. So for these, you can actually spear spam before the stealth things. I thought we were gonna be able to kill it in time when it was like 3%, but he actually got a cast off, and that sucks. But in general, you can literally just cast spam cast fear, and they will chain cast it. But if you're just spamming fear, then it will never actually get it off. That's if like you're on a stuns and CC and stuff from your party, but that is a small thing that you can do to avoid getting the spiderlings. So going into this pull with 5 shards. So here I'm just trying to get multiple dots on everything. You can see I'm putting like Siphon Life on like all 3 or 4 targets that I have. So here we get a Pride. It's perfect percent. So once again, I'm saving my cooldowns and I'm just hoping the healer can heal through them. I'm spending shards because I can get shards back over time. So I kind of use my 5 shards there, and then I just kind of pull the rest for the boss. I'll get 2 shards back for when we kill a Pride, 1 from UA, 1 from draining it. So that is nice. So here I am, 5 shards, ready to go for the boss. I also use my pot on this boss since it's up. So I got PI again. You can see I'm just destroying this boss. This boss does take quite a bit because there's a lot of well, you have to kill the ads obviously, but there's a lot of moving in and out, moving around to avoid the stun and not clip your partners with the stun. So, and also we didn't have lust for this boss. Some people will lust on this boss. I think it's better to lust on the second boss personally. If you have a pride for this. If you have a pride and you have your cooldowns, this boss is not too terrible. It does get kind of dicey at the end when your healer gets kind of running low on mana because the AoE hits really hard in Tyrannical. So we're pretty close to like one-shot territory if you aren't full HP. If you're like 80% health and you get the ambush, you might actually just die. So that is just one thing to note about this boss. My Dark Soul came up here and I just pop it even though the boss is at like 15% just to make sure we kill it. I'm not going to need Dark Soul for a little bit anyways. So this was really interesting. I've never pulled this Plague Rock before, but kind of just like clipped it and snapped onto us, which is interesting. Normally you avoid pulling these because they're dangerous when you are pulling a larger pack, but since that was by itself, it's fun. We got the slimes here in the back. Once again, I'm gonna like full single target the congealed slime. I think I actually just cool down this pack because I'm not gonna use it before anything before the boss. So yeah, Dark Lair on this pack just to get it off cooldown. I'm not gonna use it on the ads coming up next, like the big packs, because it wouldn't be up for the boss. So I popped it there, just finish off that 3-pack really quick. So I think one of the best ways to get a lot of damage out as Warlock is getting efficient use of your cooldowns. So, like for example, in that last 3-pack, no one was using cooldowns, right? So by me using them, it also made the pack go faster, and they get to use theirs for this one, right? So I think our Boomy cooldowned here, and our mage also combusted. So I'm just hitting the big guy here. We'll get a pride. This guy takes a while to kill because he keeps teleporting away. And once again on this pride, I don't want to pop my cooldowns for it because I don't know if they'll be up for the boss in time. So our mage just combusted it, and I told him I just typed out that I would have my cooldowns on pull. So that's what we end up going with. So I'm only going with 3 shards, which is not ideal. I probably should have pulled some more up for this, but the boss phase is pretty quick, so I dot up the boss ad too, right before I dark glare, just for extra dot damage. And so we melted the boss so fast, you can see we still have a pride buff for another like 20 seconds or so. Just dotting the ads. We lusted the second phase, and then we'll use our cooldowns and whatever we have on the third phase. One thing that is nice is your Soul Rot Phantom Singularity is up for every phase since it's only a minute cooldown, so. So here I actually die when the boss comes up, and I didn't know it killed me. I actually ended up pulling aggro, and the boss meleeed me. So that's what happened here. I didn't step in the pool, I didn't get hit by a tentacle, but I actually got aggro really quickly and just kind of got slapped and died. I think it's right there. Yeah, it was so quick that I didn't even know what hit me. Took my res. And now here comes the the finale here. It's kind of, I don't really know how everyone died. It's kind of, I think we just had a ton of stacks of the poison rain, and we all just kind of melted. But yeah, we all just kind of got slapped around here, and we all just died, and we end up having our mage left alive, and he ends up clutching it out. So that was a pretty intense ending there. I was going to be really upset if we wiped on that boss. You know, it was like 1% and everyone's just dying. We all have 7, 8 stacks of the infectious rain, so yeah, I was just checking my log and I actually got meleeed for like 40k. It was just really really strange there. So yeah, some key takeaways: use your Dark Glare on cooldown. If you're using Siphon Life build, I'm trying to maintain Siphon Life on multiple targets. If you're doing 2 or 3 pulls, or 2 or 3 target pulls, it's not too terrible to manage. If you do have some extra haste gear, putting on some extra haste gear might help also. Yeah, once again, here are my soul blinds and my talents for those who didn't see or want to look at them again. Let me know in the comments if you've used this build. What do you think of it? If you prefer using Absolute Corruption or Vile Taint and Dark Caller. I'm interested to see because Warlock has a lot of different builds right now, and you can swap them in and out between what dungeons you do and what kind of compositions you have. So let me know. Thanks for watching.